Welcome to part 2 of my divorce story and how my husband cheated on me. If you haven't watched the part 1 of the video, go and watch it first because that will give you a little bit of context and a background on what I'm going to be saying right now. But yes. Hello, I'm X Charles and this is me navigating my life being divorced at 30 and sharing my story. So, the last part of the video I talked about how I wasn't sure if he had done something already or not, and I was trying to face the decision whether I wanted to know or not. It was a tough week, and I told myself I didn't want to live with a lie. Even if he did it, I would want to know. The thing is, I don't know if he did it. I only know what I saw. So I had to ask him. I had to get him to admit to me if he did it or not. And how was that possible? I don't know. When I had a conversation with him, surprisingly, no shouting, no screaming, in a very calm manner, I told him, I know everything. You need to tell me, what did you do? Even though I didn't know anything at that point, but I just wanted to know what he did. You can imagine the fear, the anxiety, the shakiness that I was going through when he told me and admitted to me that he did it. And when I heard him say it in front of my face, I was not there. Mentally, I was not there. Mentally, I was in a different universe. I was like, this is not real. I was hoping so much that he would have told me that he didn't do anything and it was just him looking. But he said, yes, I went to see a prostitute. And I think one of the harder things was that I asked him how much did he pay for the girl. He told me $100. And that was the amount that I gave him because he needed money at that time. I, as a wife, didn't want my husband to suffer. So when he told me he was financially down and needed money, I gave him that money. And what did he do? He used that money to betray me. I can still remember me sitting there and hear him apologizing and crying and telling me that he's sorry, and I had absolutely no words. I didn't scream, I didn't hit him, I didn't shout. I was not in the room. I was mentally in a different universe where I was happy because this can't be real. My perfect marriage, the person that I trust, the person that I open up to, I didn't know what to say. And I know some people might ask, were you not physically intimate with your husband? It was never like that. It was never the case of I rejected him so much that he sought other options. Even he told me and said it was never about me. He just couldn't control his lust. So he said that he's really sorry. He didn't know it was a mistake and he wanted to work things out. He would do anything, like don't leave, like he's so sorry. I said, you know what? This is a marriage. It's not a relationship. It's different. I made a vow. No marriage is perfect. And he's really sorry and he promised to never do it again. He's going to build my trust on him again. I said, okay, let's do this. I was thinking from that day onwards, he would have done anything to me to gain back my trust. To me, he shattered me so much. I wanted him to do more than what he was giving me. At that point of the relationship, I also felt like I was giving him a 90 to only receive a 10% back. And it's not that I asked for much. I just wanted him to elevate and give me more so that I can gain back his trust. But throughout the whole time after he did that to me, which to me was the most painful thing and the most betrayal that he has ever done, But there's more, there's worse actually. But that was the first time. Um, but it almost felt like he broke a glass and expected me to put back the pieces, because that's exactly what happened. He broke my trust and he continued to do what he was doing. And every time I would to have brought up the topic, he would say like, "Oh, why am I bringing it up? You shouldn't be bringing it up." And I even asked, to go for marriage counseling, and he didn't like the idea. He didn't believe in counseling, and I suffered. I suffered a lot, and I would talk to him about it, but he just didn't want to talk about it. He would literally tell me that we should just leave it in the past. He made a mistake, but he didn't know that I needed a lot of assurance. I needed more. And obviously, I brought it up because it affected me so much that it took me a while to get physically intimate again with him. But I remembered that I told myself, like, if I want things to work and me as a wife, I needed to do it for us. And I remember when I did it again with him, I cried. And this is very, very bad for me to do it in this room, because everything, like right in front of me, is literally the bed where he confessed what he did. So it's a bit emotional. So when we did it again for the first time after he betrayed me, I remembered I cried and cried and cried and cried, because the pain was so painful, because I would literally have flashbacks, or I would have this memory of like him doing it with someone else. But I told myself, like, I need to do it for us. I need to be a wife for him, and part of it is giving myself, part of it is giving my body. But I remember how painful it was. I don't remember being angry. I just remember being very disappointed, because this was somebody that I trusted my whole entire life. This was somebody that I was supposed to depend on. This is somebody who was supposed to be there for me, and protect me, and don't hurt me. Because you made a vow, you made a promise, you're here to take care of me, or we're here to take care of each other. And the person that I trusted my life with is the one that betrayed me. I didn't have a lot of people in my life, and he was somebody that I leaned to, and he broke me at that point. And he didn't know how much I suffered in silence, how much it took me to trust him again. I had to literally, I couldn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. Maybe my friends did, only a few. But even my family didn't know, because I was so embarrassed, and I didn't want to paint a bad picture of him, because I still chose to be with him. And to go through something like that alone and not be able to talk to people about it or talk to him about it was very, very difficult. But I suffered. I suffered a lot in silence, but eventually I got there. Eventually we went into a good space. I was over it. I was mentally, like, I healed from it. Okay, time heals. And we were fine. And then we got our own house. And everything was like, okay, like we're back. We have our own house now. We live together. It's amazing. And we had a plan and everything else. Everything went good. He was a very, very understanding husband. He would support me in whatever I wanted to do, my career, my passion, my hobbies, whatever not. He was very supportive. Me as well. So when he wanted to switch into having a different job, which was the financial agent, I said go for it. I supported him. And when we got our house, he was not financially stable as well, because he didn't really have much savings. He just, was in the midst of changing jobs and whatever not. So I said, fine, it's okay. You can repay me one day, but I will help us. I paid for I bet the cost for the whole house renovation. I bet the whole cost for every furniture, every utensils, every thing in the house. All my life's work and hard work and savings, and even my mom's passing, was all invested into our marriage, our house. He does pay for the house, but the only reason why we could live there was because of my money. Things got worse. We would have arguments where he just didn't understand boundaries. He did things like a married man shouldn't do. He made excuses because of his career. You know how you can meet anyone as a financial agent, you can meet women and stuff like that as clients. He would tell me he's meeting a client, but he would meet girls. There were many days where he would come home late, and then he would say he met a client, and just things just. I have a strong intuition, and I knew something was up. He even told me, he confessed to me that he told me he met a client, which was a girl, but he actually met some girl from Thailand or something. So he lied to me. I would see text messages with his friends, girlfriends, or clients that he didn't have boundaries. He would flirt, or he would flirt back with the girls, and he would say that he wants to build a rapport with them so that they can be potentially their clients. That just didn't sit right with me. I said, if I were to have a business, if I want to do content, whatever, do I pretend that I'm single and let guys talk to me and give me money as long as my business grows? Would you be okay with that? And he said no. So I said, if you say no, then why is it you're doing this? I was tired because I shouldn't be telling a guy what is right and what is wrong. He was older than me. He was 35 years old. I shouldn't be telling him what to do and not to do. As a married man, you should know there is right and there is wrong. No way in hell, as a married man, should you be lying to your wife, meeting girls till late at night, texting girls, pretending to be single, texting like you're single. No way. Just context, I was already tired of it, and I just kept giving excuses for him. There was a time where I found messages to an agency or something, or unknown number, and he mentioned a girl's name. He said Winda, location, question mark, and then the person replied saying the location is Gelang, and time and place and whatever not. What other things that he was looking at? He like joined weird sassy telegram groups. So, and he had numbers which were prostitute agencies numbers, which he disguised that by saving the number as scam. I to him, I say, why do you have all these numbers? Why did you text this person? Did you do anything? Because he promised me the first time that he's not going to do it again. Let me tell you, the way that he gaslighted me, the way he manipulated me, the way he made me feel that I was crazy. So he said he did it on purpose just to see if I've been checking on his phone or I've been tapping on his phone, because a year ago when he first betrayed me, he was wondering for the very longest time, how did I find out? So he said this lie and excuse, saying that he wanted to see if I still am tapping on his phone, which to me didn't make sense because it's been 1 year since that thing has happened. Why would you still want to find out? How did I know? But the way he did this whole performance of I don't know, I don't even know how to explain to you how he made it so believable, because he was so confident in his answer. He was quick to answer me that I just was like, okay, I don't have evidence, fine. You said it, fine. So I asked him to, because I know religion is really sensitive to him. So I said, since I have no evidence and you are claiming that all this is untrue and you have all your excuses and whatnot, I want you to swear upon God's name. Make an oath right now and use God's name and swear that you've done nothing at all. And he did. He raised his hand and he said everything and he swore. And I said that you make sure you are telling the truth right now, because if you say this, if you make an oath and say God's name right now, and if you are lying, the consequences that you're gonna face is, you know. And he said he knows, and he was crying when he did it. I was like, were you crying because you're guilty, or why were you crying? He said he felt sad. So he swore upon God's name and whatever not. I was like, okay, like I knew something was up, something is not right. I mentally just stopped putting an effort. So in that marriage, I slowly just fizzled away. I I remember once he was telling me that he needed, financial help. He was stressed, and I finally told him, I said that I am finding it hard to find sympathy for him or empathy for him. He needs to step up as a husband to do what he needs to do to get money, because I'm done. I'm done helping him. After all that he has done to me and the way he's treated me, I was done. And I think that was a turning point for him. And I think it was a turning point where he realized that he could no longer manipulate me or lie to me, because his lies were catching up. I'm going to stop the story right here. The part 3 is going to be talking about the worst day possible, the day that everything flipped, the day that I found something in my own house. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment, and stay tuned for part 3.